Hi everyone. Welcome back to Lisa's Love and Light. How are you guys doing today? I hope all is well. We're having some crazy weather here today. Um, we're expecting some kind of nor'easter. So if you guys are in this area, be careful. And if you're in another area and you are experiencing that, be careful as well because it's supposed to be a bad one. But in any event, be safe, take care of yourself. And thank you guys for showing up. Thank you for yesterday. I had a really unexpected situation that I had to take care of. So it took most of my time, so I couldn't be here. Um, so I did post last night, that I wasn't able to do a video. And also having some allergy situations going on. But I am here today and I hope you guys are doing well. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for showing up and watching these videos and supporting the channel. I'm really showing a lot of gratitude and thanks to you guys for that. And continue to share the videos because we are starting to see more and more people show up here, which means to me that these messages are resonating with you. And thank you for that. Also, keep in mind, I'm not a therapist, a social worker, or I'm not a therapist, social worker, or a counselor. I'm just somebody who went through hell, and I was able to come back from it. And what I do here is share things about my experiences and how I came back from the worst of the worst. And perhaps what you hear may help you if you have these challenges and you're going through something like what I'm describing, and perhaps it can help you, if it resonates, help you with your own situation. So, guys, with that being said, the topic of discussion today is toxicity, difficulties, and manifestation. So, we're going to talk about these things here today. Being pushed, being choked, being slapped, being pushed down a flight of stairs, being spit on, being told that you will never be anything without them. This is a high level of toxicity. Toxicity can be verbal or physical. Also, being told, from what I see, an egotistical point of view and a narcissistic, girl, sit down, shut up, you're not going anywhere. Or better yet, hearing a conversation as you walk in a room with a significant other on the phone with a friend saying, this girl is not going anywhere. She's not going to leave me or do anything. I can do whatever I want to her and she'll always be here. Thinking, this kind of thinking, all these things I'm describing is extremely toxic. Toxicity doesn't have to be just verbal. It can also be physical. It starts off verbal and it can escalate into something physical. In any event, what I just described here, it is not for anyone's highest good. None of these things. Love, relationships, family situations, or whatever it is supposed to enhance our life, not bring hell to it. Excuse me, guys. It's supposed to enhance our life, not bring hell to it. This is why it is so important to stay on this journey or get on this journey to heal the pain, to heal the grief, to heal the trauma from all these things. Because riding this train of toxicity can lead not only to health issues, but other problems as well. So, getting on this journey to heal these things and setting strong boundaries is a must. And these things that I just described to you guys, except for the spitting part, all those things I described is what I went through personally. Because my self-esteem was so low. I couldn't heal, couldn't manifest, couldn't do anything because of allowing toxicity in my life. And when you love someone, you care about that person, you hope that things get better. Even trying to put couples therapy into place. But when a person doesn't want to do the work, there's nothing you can do. You know that saying, you can bring a horse to the water, but you can't make it drink? That is a true statement. You can tell people whatever, however, but if they don't have a desire to do the work, to make the changes, then you're not going to see the changes. And then all these things that I described, these patterns of toxic behavior, will continue. Not only will it continue, it will escalate into something unthinkable. It could lead to something unthinkable. When you start to get on this journey to heal, you will not accept anything that's not for your highest good. As you heal these pains and hurts, as you look at yourself and you do the work and ask yourself why you are settling, instead of just, having that perfect situation. Nothing is perfect, but having that loving situation, I should use that word, because there's nothing loving about those things I just described. When you learn lessons, you do better. When you do better, you self-care, you self-love, and you never deal with things that are no longer for your highest good. That was never for your highest good. Unable to manifest due to toxicity. How can anyone manifest anything with those things I just described? You can't. You're stuck, stagnated, knee deep in a toxicity. And you can't seem to bring your head above water. I know that's what I felt like when I dealt with this, nearly 10 years worth of it. And it's no joke, it's no game, it's a serious matter, because especially when the party involved doesn't think they're doing anything wrong. They feel entitled to treat you this way. They feel entitled to tell you what to do and what you cannot do. And, when I'm going to talk a lot about this moving forward, but if you go to some prior videos, you'll learn that I was subservient all my life because my mindset wasn't where it is today. It was, if I stay in my lane, if I do the right thing, things will work out. And that is not the case. When you don't love yourself, and I'm not talking about being in love with yourself, but self-love. When you self-love and self-care and you start to do better and feel better, your mindset also shifts. It changes. You start to see things from a different perspective. You start to see what is for your highest good and what is not. And I was just allowing the toxicity and all the drama and everything in because, hey, this person wants to have a family with me and be with me. And, that's a good thing, right? No, not necessarily. When someone's bringing toxicity to your table, it's never a good thing. Everyone have disagreements, situations, that, they have to talk about. People even have arguments, but I'm not talking about those things. I'm talking about high levels of toxicity that lowers your self-esteem, down to the ground. Nothing good is coming from it. And one of the reasons why you can bring the horse to the water, but you can't make it drink is because the person has to have that will to change. And a lot of these things are due to a broken way of living, a broken way of thinking. And when people don't want to change, no matter what you do, you can't make a person change. You can't change a situation. It takes two. And when you're dealing with someone who don't want to change for the better, there's nothing you can do. In my case, it got to the point where I just had to cut off, block, and delete. And sometimes, I talk to women and men and that I meet about different situations. They like to talk to me, women in particular, about this kind of situation that I'm discussing today. And it's like going back and forth, in and out, round and about. And I was telling one person that I did that. I did that for a long time. That's why 10 years worth, until it got to the point where it reached a level of there's no coming back from this last hit of what happened. And it was time to for me to cut off, block, and delete. And once I did, at that point, there was no contact. When you're dealing, for myself, I'm speaking from my point of view. I'm not here to tell people what to do. I'm sharing my story so that you know what I've gone through and how I've gotten through it. I had to not only cut off, block, and delete, but I had to go no contact. When you're dealing with someone with this kind of broken mindset and broken behavior and way of thinking, if they don't do the work to heal, they're going to stay in that energy. And I know I didn't want to live the rest of my life that way. So there's no contact because, any contact is a maneuver to try to sway me to come back into that. And, and I did that for a while, and things will be good for a minute. And then out of left field, here we go again. Because if a person doesn't do the work to heal, they can't change for the better. They have to have that desire to want to change and do the work. Otherwise, you stay stuck and stagnated in a toxic situation, which cannot allow you to heal, grow, and evolve. And you can't manifest anything because you're stuck. They have a chokehold over you. And one of the things I had to learn is to take my power back. Once I took my power back, closed the door, cut off, block, and delete, then I was able to do the work to heal. Little by little, step by step. And as I did that, here I am in 2025 at a better place in my life. I'm not broken down to zero. I'm not broken down, busted, and disgusted, as some folks from the past would love to see that. But God, people. My strength comes from God. My going forward and moving forward and keeping on and staying on this journey, all that comes from God. I would never be able to do this without Him. And, prayer. I stay in prayer a lot, especially when things feel hard at times. We all are human and we feel pain, we feel things. I go into prayer, ask God to help me to overcome. And as you overcome these things, you take your power back. And as you take your power back, then you start to do the work. You start to grow, heal, and evolve. And you start to know your self-worth, which is awesome. Because once you know your self-worth, people, you will never settle for anything ever again that's not for your highest good. Once you close those doors, set strong boundaries, then you can manifest how you want your life to be. Stay in prayer and ask God to help you. You're going to fall. You're going to make mistakes. We all do. We're human. Don't expect perfection, but don't give up. Expect yourself to be persistent, to persevere through these things. One day at a time, one step at a time. Nothing ventured is nothing gained. And don't be too hard on yourself. Like I tell you guys all the time, circumstances, situations, these things come into our life for a reason, season, a lifetime, or a lesson. And these things are lessons. And when they're unlearned, they come back, repeat itself, and it's worse than ever. So as quickly as you learn these lessons, then you don't have to repeat them. You can close those doors and move towards new beginnings. Because I promise you, God has better things behind those doors to those new beginnings. And I'm talking from experience. I'm talking about what I've gone through. Once I closed the doors to toxicity, and that was one of my vows to God as He helped me and lifted me up from the ground. Because that's where I was down zero. And God helped to lift me up, and I made vows, and that's one of them. No more toxicity, no more riding this wheel of toxicity. And I closed those doors, and when, sometimes you get a test, like it wants to come back in, cut off, block, and delete, because I've learned those lessons. Now it's time for new beginnings, better things. And people, don't ever tell yourself that there's nothing better out there, because it is. But you have to do the work so that you can prepare yourself for the better, so that you're not dragging luggage to a new situation. You're not, carrying the old with you, trying to go into the new. One day at a time, one step at a time, guys. You fall down, get back up. Don't be hard on yourself. And tune out the noise around you, because as you heal and you do the work to heal, there'll be people making noise, trying to distract you, doing the most and the worst, because you're no longer the same as you start to heal, grow, and evolve. And they can say whatever they want. Let them. Because as you grow, heal, and evolve, you do better. And as people see that, they see it's working. And the people who really matter will have your back and support you in all that you do. Never give up on yourself, and never give up on moving forward on your healing. Make that a priority. Let's continue to turn this pain into power, power into purpose, purpose into paying it forward to help others as we help ourselves. That's how we win on this journey called life. That's the message today, guys. Enjoy your day. Make sure you're doing something for yourself on a daily to build yourself up, and keep your toxicity levels low as you can. And I'll be back tomorrow with a new message. And in the meantime, guys, take care of yourselves. This is Lisa, shedding love and light, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.